Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the process of my painting Flora and Fauna. My goal for this channel is to keep myself accountable for continuing this discipline while I now balance this full-time job on the side. I'm hoping that it will keep me motivated and inspired to keep going, and perhaps it might be a source of some inspiration for those of you who appreciate beauty and art. I'm looking forward to sharing the joy that painting brings into my daily life and giving you all a glimpse into the behind the scenes of my art making process. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy following along this journey with me. In the beginning, I started by desiring two things. One, I wanted to paint the figure, and two, I wanted to paint something a little bit larger than all the paintings I'd previously worked on. One day I picked up a beautiful book on Caravaggio that a dear friend of ours gave us. Thank you, Mary. As I was leafing through it, I came across his painting of Bacchus, and I was instantly taken back in time to when I saw that painting in Florence when I was there in 2016. And I remember that painting just pulled me in from the other side of the gallery, and it stuck out among all the other paintings around it. As I walked closer to it, the more real the painting seemed to be, like a window in time. And this young man was holding out this glass of wine. And the tension of him holding on to the stem of that glass made like ripples in the wine. He was looking right at me, as if he was aware we had never met, but he had this look of recognition of some kind, like he was toasting to humanity itself. As a still life painter myself, I find it so interesting how he includes such gorgeous still life elements in his portraits. I started to imagine setting up my own portrait like this, and I decided it would be kind of a fun exercise to use Caravaggio's Bacchus and also his painting of Boy with a Basket of Fruit, and try to make my own version of that motif. So I began looking around my immediate surroundings for objects that I could use for my still life. With my still lifes, a lot of times I have an idea of what I want beforehand, but a lot of the time I switch to a more open state of awareness where I look around and I see what objects in my immediate surroundings sort of stick out to me and call to be painted, if that makes sense. I had a bouquet of red tulips that I had just purchased the day before. They sat eagerly waiting to be painted. I had them in a vase that was made by a friend in Florence who makes beautiful ceramics that are inspired by 18th century Italian Baroque designs. I also had pears which sort of resembled the curves of the vase. And I also like the idea of incorporating animals into my still life. I think it gives a delightful surprise and a good variety to the piece. So I reached for my little duckling that I had got at an antique shop. So I looked at all of the objects that I gathered, and I began to think about what these objects say. What do they symbolize? Red tulips symbolize love, passion, devoted love, and the selfless pursuit of it. In the traditional language of flowers, red tulips can say, "Believe me," as a declaration of love. Pears mean inner peace and can often represent the virgin and child, fertility, spiritual growth, and fruitfulness. The duckling reminded me of Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tale, The Ugly Duckling. It is a story of transformation and a metaphor for the human condition. The duckling, experiencing rejection and a lack of a sense of purpose and belonging, sought to escape his suffering by spending a winter season out alone, away from the rest of the world. At the arrival of spring, which is symbolic of new life and hope, he surrendered his fears and delusions about himself. And in so doing, truth was revealed to him, and he was able to recognize his true nature and finally take flight. I began by setting up a light source and a sort of stage for the scene. I used a piece of marble to resemble a parapet or ledge, like the ones often seen in devotional images, to arrange my still life. Then I sat myself down within this setting, and it was fun thinking of myself as part of this still life design. Instead of using still photographs for reference, I used video. This allowed me to get a more relaxed and natural pose. I took screenshots of specific points in the video where my head was tilted in the right way or my hands and arms were in good positions. I played around with these images and sketched different designs until I came up with one that I liked most. I ended up using many still images from the one video and stitched them together to make the right pose. Before beginning my drawing, I had to first choose which type of rectangle and what size it would be. I decided to make my painting the same size as Caravaggio's Boy with a Basket of Fruit. I studied his design by overlaying an armature over the rectangle of his painting. This told me so much about his intentional design plan. I drew out that same rectangle on some charcoal paper and mapped out the armature. This allowed me to place the figure and elements in the most beautiful way that led the eye through the picture and offered the most possibilities of engagement for the viewer. This hand gesture was inspired by various paintings where pointing upwards was a reminder of a higher, eternal, and transcendent reality. That's what we want. That's too white, too cool. This one, I looked it up online and LEDs are better for accurate color.
That ain't gonna be no problem hanging that up.
Alright.
You probably get that one right there, unless you know how far away you are from the plug.
Well, I'm pretty close.
I mean, I'd get this small 25 footer.
Okay. Is white the best color?
It's up to you. You want that pink one?
I want whatever one's closest to the wall color. Green? This is an outdoor cord, huh?
Right.
So you pay more for the color, which is of course.
For the insulation as well as
All right, I'll get the white, I guess. Okay, so that's done. I'm gonna put some books on top of it and it'll dry overnight. You think I'm talking to you, don't you? So the panel that I'm preparing is actually for this drawing that I've been working on, and that is gonna be transferred to the canvas once it's dry. We'll see if something comes of this. Stay tuned. I'm excited. So I am adding another flower here. It's going to come out of this right about here. Yesterday I worked on this duckling a little bit and I just love how real it looks. The body needs to drop a little bit because they have really long little bodies, but I'm excited the way it looks so far. So got rid of the stem here because it was just not necessary, but it's coming along. I'm only able to paint for a short time early in the morning every day, but little bits go a long way. So I just mapped out this rectangle here at the bottom of the painting for this marble block, and it really broke up that big empty space nicely, I think. We end up with a woman seated within a triangle composition. Her left arm embraces a bouquet of red tulips, a declaration of her love and devotion to nature and painting. Her left hand points just above the picture plane, a reminder that there is something greater than all these worldly things, but suggests that their beauty can point to the divine. Her right hand cradles a duckling, a symbol of opportunities to come and transformation. Its little webbed foot presses down on her index finger as it stretches up, about to flap its wings. The imperfections and bruises on the pears is a nod to the rotting fruit in Caravaggio's painting, which were meant to hint at a vanitas theme. Youth and pleasure are fleeting. So, why take inspiration from paintings that have come before us? Borrowing from the past for inspiration was one of the most common practices throughout art history. In the Renaissance, it was considered a vital step in the process of creation. It was both a source of education and inspiration. Originality in the Renaissance arose not from some desperate search for the new, but from the belief that one could work best within the boundaries of hallowed, time-honored tradition. Caravaggio is said to have looked back on these two Lombard works for inspiration for Boy with a Basket of Fruit. Though today there is a common stigma that to honor tradition and build art upon the sturdy foundations of the past is outdated and undesirable. Yet the most cherished art and the most visited cities in the world are the ones that are built on those foundations. Like poetry, the more often you return to it, the more you get from it. It grows over time, instead of becoming obsolete. It is a call to a higher being. So in looking to the past and honoring tradition, instead of attempting to reinvent the wheel, we are taking already great works and distilling them through the imagination with our own unique lens to produce something new that could potentially contribute to the great history of art. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you might enjoy subscribing because more videos like this will be coming soon. Until next time, goodbye.